POV, it's 2020 and not even 6 days after the release of Animal Crossing New Horizons, Nintendo announces that starting on April 1st, the long-awaited Bunny Day event will be taking place. Since lockdown had just begun and everybody was stuck at their house, this offers something to do for the many players at the time. This will be the first holiday event to happen in New Horizons, and everyone should be ecstatic and be able to enjoy it. Right? Well, the event included the player capturing different kinds of eggs all over their island, in the sky, in the water, in the trees, and even buried underground. And let's not forget the wonderful mascot of Bunny Day, Zipper. There's nothing scary or odd about him at all. But with what seemed like such a wholesome event, how did it lead to players ending up absolutely despising it, and ultimately led to the first controversy of Animal Crossing New Horizons? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be taking a deep dive into the Bunny Day controversy in Animal Crossing, specifically New Horizons, and how it drove players at the time, including myself, absolutely mad. Let's go ahead and get started.
One Zipper T Bunny will visit your island in celebration of Bunny Day in early April.
Why do most Animal Crossing players hate Bunny Day? And why is he the most hated character in all of New Horizons?
Can you hunt down the eggs Zipper hid everywhere?
In fact, the Easter egg appearance rate was so high that they even had to adjust it. Now, I don't know if that was an internal thing that they did.
The Bunny Day event only comes once a year.
So be sure to participate.
Bunny Day, probably one of, if not the most cursed holidays in Animal Crossing.
Let's give some background about what Bunny Day in Animal Crossing is. Bunny Day, which is the Easter equivalent celebration, didn't appear in the games until Animal Crossing City Folk. It coincides with the actual Easter holiday and can happen on the day the holiday falls on that year, from March 22nd to April 25th. It introduced a new special character named Zipper T Bunny to represent the event. In City Folk, 30 eggs are hidden in your town, and your objective is to hunt them down and open them to reveal if it is either candy or bunny foil. If it's the bunny foil, you can give it to Zipper in exchange for an item in the egg series. In New Leaf, Zipper asks the player to gather 6 different kinds of eggs hidden in your town, which are the tree, earth, stone, sky, water, and deep sea egg. Once the player finds one of each egg and gives it to Zipper, he rewards them with the egg basket furniture item. From this point, the player collects more eggs and eats them to get either candy, a winning ticket, or a grand prize ticket. Winning tickets can be exchanged for items in the egg series, and the grand prize ticket rewards you with his picture. Interestingly enough, if Easter occurs on April 1st that year, both Zipper and Blanca's respective events will take place at the same time. In New Horizons, the Bunny Day event happens for 8 days prior to the actual day. Throughout the days of the event, the player collects 6 different types of eggs on their island, which includes the earth, leaf, sky, stone, water, and wood egg. These eggs are used to craft unique Bunny Day series items. The reason why the event lasts longer in New Horizons is because he asks you to collect eggs and craft all the furniture before the day of the event to obtain the recipe for the Bunny Day bed. The DIY recipes are found in themed balloons and message bottles around your island. Then, on the actual day of the event, Zipper asks you to provide him with one type of each egg in exchange for the Bunny Day basket. If the player has crafted all 15 furniture items by the end of the day, Zipper will give you 2 special recipes for the wobbling toy and wand. In the 1.9 update, they added 5 additional Bunny Day items obtainable in Nook's Cranny. A pretty solid and enjoyable event, right? Well, unfortunately, this wasn't the case for New Horizons. So how did this event single-handedly earn its spot as the first controversy in Animal Crossing New Horizons? Millions of players were already experiencing the glory of this long-awaited game by starting their island, collecting fish and bugs, getting DIY recipes, etc. And with this event coming out not even a couple weeks after the launch, players were looking forward to even more stuff to do. This was especially important considering this was during lockdown and people literally had nothing better to do. On April 1st, 2020, the event finally drops, and players all around the world are starting to indulge in this wholesome holiday, and the event is supposed to last until April 12th. So players are going about their island doing their Bunny Day duties of collecting the eggs in every little area. I mean, they were literally quite everywhere. However, as the days of the event progressed, players started to realize that these eggs weren't just something you could sometimes get. No, this was the only thing you could get. Need to gather wood? Nope. It's just the wood eggs. Need to collect fish to maybe get some bells? Nope. It's just water eggs. Need to dig up some fossils? Nope. It's just earth eggs. I mean, these eggs had literally flooded people's islands like it was some Easter egg infestation. People immediately took to social media to post their frustrations, saying stuff like, here's all the fish coming to Northern Hemisphere Animal Crossing players this month. Water egg, water egg, water egg, and so on. Players were even begging Nintendo on Twitter to lower the spawn rate of these eggs, and someone even said, can you please lower the spawn percentage of eggs on like everything? I can barely fish. Hell, even catching a sea bass during this time was better than catching yet another water egg. I mean, even I posted this on Instagram at the time. Just imagine 12 whole days of these eggs not going absolutely anywhere. Players were also posting about their fear of the mascot of this event, Zipper. Now listen, at the time, there was a huge mass of new players who weren't familiar with Mr. T Bunny. As we know, he gets his name from the fact that there is a zipper on his back, hinting that this is a costume rather than an actual rabbit like all the other animals on your island. His odd behavior scares players as he gets mad when you try to talk to him from behind and says, seriously, cut that out. Last warning. Instead of looking, why don't you try listening for once? He was always just kind of lurking around your island in the shadows, and even I was a bit creeped out. But with players already frustrated with the egg infestation taking over their islands, it led them to start to despise this rabbit. Players were trapping him in places and hitting him on the head with a net. They were airing out their frustrations all over social media by making signs saying, kill this rabbit, or catching Zipper just eerily watching them from afar. What's his secret and what's hiding under that costume? I would answer that if this was some type of lore video, but we're not here to talk about that today. Maybe I will in the future. However, this is just the start of this whole story. In the Animal Crossing games, the month of April has always been known to feature cherry blossom trees, which players have found way more enticing than Bunny Day. And in New Horizons specifically, players were promised unique DIY recipes they could obtain to make beautiful cherry blossom items. Cherry blossom petals will float around your island during this time and can be caught with a net to use for these recipes. But remember how I said Bunny Day also occurred during this time? Well, with eggs literally taking the place of everything, players couldn't even obtain the materials for these except for the petals, let alone the cherry blossom DIYs and balloons since they only dropped eggs. This obviously upset players since the cherry blossom furniture was far more appealing than the Bunny Day furniture. People were unleashing their anger on social media by saying, if only I could get DIYs for this instead of Bunny Day, and every time I get a new Bunny Day recipe instead of a cherry blossom one, I become irrationally angry. This was probably the most pivotal part of this whole Bunny Day catastrophe. My personal experience with this situation is the same as everyone else's during this time. Spending numerous hours only getting those eggs every single second of the day wasn't great. It made me not even want to play since I couldn't really do anything else. It was locked down. Countless articles were being written during this time, explaining this whole situation and how the millions of initial players were furious with the execution of this event, leading to the first backlash this game received. So how was this solved? Well, Nintendo took notice of the immense amount of complaints coming from players around the world and proceeded to decrease the spawn rate of these horrendous eggs with a quick patch on April 6th, 2020. They never officially released or posted anything on social media stating they were patching anything, but in the patch notes it mentioned a decrease in the spawn rates. I think Nintendo was really paying attention to criticism at the time because they very rarely ever step in mid-event to make changes. But also, I don't think it was Nintendo's intention to have a messy rollout for this event, but with these two events happening at the same time, it just didn't work out at the end. And of course, Bunny Day just so happened to take place at the beginning of April, leading to the events to collide with each other. Another aspect to take into account was that millions of players of New Horizons during this time were all at home due to the pandemic with nothing to do, so how could we not be frustrated with this rather series of unfortunate events that interrupted our gaming experience? Although this issue was resolved at the time, it definitely did take a little bit of a toll on the event and the game itself. I know I don't really care for Bunny Day anymore, that's for sure, and I think some of you guys can agree. I'm certain Nintendo took note of this issue since the other events and holidays that were released throughout 2020 weren't received as bad as this one. Thank you guys for watching this video, and what are your thoughts on this whole Bunny Day fiasco? Did you play during this time? Let me know in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.